Tinkerbell and the Great Fairy Rescue is the third Tinkerbell movie, and I actually think it's the most underrated of the Tinkerbell movies. Now, I know that it's a very simple movie compared to some of the later movies where a lot happens, and in this one, like, not a lot happens, but to me, it's like it was one of my favorites as a child. Because like Lizzie, I also believed in fairies a bit way too much. Actually, fun embarrassing fact about me, I believed in fairies for way too long. Till I believed in fairies since I was like 10 or 11 years old. Like, I was on Musical.ly already, and I still believed in fairies, like genuinely believed in fairies. Not like, oh, I like fairies. No, I actually thought they were real, and I thought I had evidence that they were real. And I was like too old to be doing that. But it is true. So maybe that's why I really fuck with this movie, because like this is kind of the movie for me. This movie was kind of made for me. So this is just gonna be like a rant review video. I know I've been doing a lot of Tinkerbell videos lately. I'm just in a Tinkerbell mood, you guys. So here's another one. So at the start of the movie, we found out that Tinkerbell is going to the mainland, and she's talking to Terence, by the way, which so nice to see Terence in a movie that he's not being bullied. I actually, once again, I love Terence and Tinkerbell together. I've said it before, like I really do like them together. But it's nice to see them getting along. And you know what? Tinkerbell in the last movie, the Lost Treasure, she was unbeatable, as we all know. She was really unbeatable. But she's really, this might be my favorite version of Tinkerbell as a person. I know I have not seen like the last two movies, I don't think, but like in this one, like Tinkerbell's just so nice and wholesome, and you know she's nice to people, like she, not like she was in the first two, but like she's really nice in this one. Terence is there, we see Blaze there, but what I do want to point out, is Tinkerbell is in the mainland for summer, and along with her is also Terence. And I also see music fairies out there. And do you know what this means? This probably means that the classes system Pixie Hollow runs on, as I complained for my entire video about the first movie, seems to be weakening. The regime seems to be disappearing. And you know, this makes me really happy. This makes me really happy to see Bobble and Clank on the mainland, to see some music fairies on the mainland, to see the Dustkeeper fairies on the mainland. This is all I wanted. This is all I wanted, and I don't know why that had to be so hard. I don't know why we needed a whole first movie about that. And now people's like, Sekia, the first movie wasn't about that. It was to me. It was to me, and do you know what makes this movie amazing? I don't see Queen Clarion anyway. I did not see a mention. Maybe there was and I blocked it out, but I did not see Queen Clarion anyway, and that's the way I like to keep things. This is still a Queen Clarion hated channel. But you know, if she's the reason behind these rules weakening, and if she's the one allowing all of these different types of fairies to go to the mainland, then I might be switching sides. I might be like, I'm cool with Queen Claudia now, and we can move on for that. But I do know that the next movie is the Lost Wings, something like that. Secret of the Wings, and I know I'm gonna hate her in that one, so I'm not switching sides. I'm sorry, I still don't like that bitch. She's a terrible ruler, in my opinion. But basically, what's happening in this movie is that all of the fairies are staying for the entire summer season. I don't know why, I don't really understand why, but there's like different fairy camps in the mainland, basically. And finally, Vidya gets a moment in this movie. This is a very Vidya centered movie in a way, in a slight way. We just get to learn more about Vidya, and as you know, I in the first movie thought Vidya was a real bitch. I think there's a lot that Vidya does that is very unnecessary, that she does not need to do. She does things for the sake of being mean. And it's just nasty. She's a nasty person, nasty fairy. But I do like Vidya. Make no mistake, I do like Vidya. In this movie especially, she really grows a heart in this movie. And also, I missed her a lot in the last one. I wished she was there to speak up on some of the bullshit that was occurring, because like I said repeatedly in that video about the last movie, I think Vidya would have had some interesting insight on the bullshit Tinkerbell was catching on. And I missed her, and I'm glad she was here to speak up in this movie. But basically, as all of the fairies are preparing for the change of seasons, Tinkerbell's quite bored because all of the machines she made to help all of like the different like fairy departments with the change of season is working smoothly. So there's nothing for Tinkerbell to fix or even tinker. So like there's no innovation to be had. So she's really bored, and she's looking for something to do. So when she finds out there is a human house nearby, she obviously wants to go because she loves her lost things, she loves all of that shit. So she really wants to like investigate what all of that's about. And Vidya knows that she's going to try to do that, so Vidya tries to stop her. What's also important that's happening at the same time is that Silvermist, the water fairy, says that she can smell a storm coming, even though it's summer, but they are in London, so you know what, that kind of tracks for the weather there. But she can smell a storm coming. And Fawn, the animal fairy, she's painting butterflies because that's what they do. And while she's painting a butterfly, she hears a horn, so she messes up this butterfly's wing, and the butterfly flies away or whatever. The horn is blown because there's like a watch out fairy, and they can see like humans coming, so they want all of the fairies to hide because you cannot be seen by the humans. You know the deal. Unfortunately, Tinkerbell sees the car coming, the human car coming, and she wants to go investigate this car because she wants to see how cars work. And she's being an idiot. She is being an idiot. And she is actively putting everybody in danger. But Vidya goes after her to stop her. But in this car is a little girl named Lizzie, her dad, and their cat. Okay, Vidya is understandably angry that Tinkerbell is doing nonsense, catching on nonsense. So she scouts Tinkerbell out, and then Tinkerbell is like still carrying on doing her own thing. And Vidya actually says something really classist in a fairy way. She said, and this is why Tinkers shouldn't be allowed to come to the mainland. Now Vidya, I defend you. I really do defend you, but you know how I feel about that. All fairies should be allowed to go to the mainland no matter what their talent are. Please don't piss me off. I don't want this to turn into another Pixie Hollow political video like my first one. I don't want to do this video. Don't make me start this bullshit again. But anyway, this time I actually think she might be kind of like, I could kind of understand her because Tinkerbell is really fucking annoying. Like we cannot lie about this, because to make matters worse, she then gets Vidya wet. So Vidya cannot fly because her wings are wet. Um she's just, Tinkerbell, like, please, it's so hard to defend you, Tinkerbell, please. Can we just get it together? Can we just get it together? But then, while Tinkerbell and Vidya are like kind of fighting under the car, that messed up butterfly that Fawn painted flies past the little girl and the father, and they are obviously amazed at said butterfly. And the little girl named Lizzie tells her father that the fairies decided to paint this one different. And Lizzie's dad is like, girl, that's so foolish. Fairies don't paint butterflies because they don't exist. I urge you to believe in some factual statements. And I will get more on the dad later because I have many thoughts about this man. But he's kind of like a scientist or whatever. He has an interview at the museum about some stuff about his research and work. But Tinkerbell's really mad that this grown ass man keeps on saying that fairies don't exist and that Lizzie is foolish. But anyways, Tinkerbell and Vidya decide that they're gonna go back to fairy camp, and Vidya's understandably in the worst mood because she needs to walk all the way back because her wings are wet, and now she needs to listen to Tinkerbell talks this entire time. But at the same time, Lizzie, the little girl, she because her dad is too busy to spend time with her as he is this entire movie, she decides she's gonna build a fairy house and put it in the garden. It's like a dollhouse, but like for fairies, and it's really cute. One thing about Lizzie is that I don't know why, but she makes me uncontrollably emotional. Something about Lizzie makes me tear up all the time. I don't know why, but I love this girl. She is the cutest. She's just so sweet, and I feel so bad for her in multiple occasions in this movie, but she's really Lizzie supremacy. I see her, I understand her as a delusional person as well. I understand her, but anyway, she's building this fairy dollhouse situation, and then she goes back inside to find something else for the fairy dollhouse situation, and then Tinkerbell finds this house. Vidya obviously doesn't want to go into this house because it's so clearly a human house, so Vidya thinks it's a trap. But Tinkerbell wants to go inside because she's Tinkerbell, which is really irritating Vidya. Understandably so, because this is terrifying if you think about it. Like, they are taught like humans are kind of the enemies and like you need to stay away from them low key. And Vidya is noticeably like scared. She just wants to get out of there. And she's having the worst day so far. But Tinkerbell goes inside, and Vidya closes the door of the dollhouse fairy thing situation. kind of to scare Tinkerbell so that Tinkerbell realizes the seriousness of the situation and will want to leave. But when she closes the door gets stuck and she can't open it. And while she's trying to open the door, think about things that Vidya's just trying to scare, but like Vidya is like screaming at her and trying to open this door and she can't get it open. And then she sees Lizzie coming, so Vidya freaks out and like hides in the grass while Lizzie approaches. And then Tinkerbell is still stuck in the house and Lizzie sees Tinkerbell inside house. Lizzie's understandably excited because like her whole shtick is that she really loves fairies, but this is horrific because if you see how big Lizzie is compared to Tinkerbell, like Tinkerbell is actually terrified because she just sees a giant eye like the size of her whole body. And Lizzie is quite terrifying if you are like 2 centimeters tall. Like this is actually very scary. This is very, very, very scary. But Lizzie takes the house into her house because she's so excited about this like fairy thing and she wants to show her dad that fairies do exist because she caught the fairy. Vidya is like definitely worried now, and it's the first time we actually see her like worried for Tinkerbell. So then she follows like where the girl is walking, and then she looks like she's trying to watch what's happening to Tinkerbell through the window. She watches as Lizzie tries to show her dad Tinkerbell, but Lizzie's dad says he's too busy to listen to Lizzie or whatever. And Vidya, this Lizzie and Tinkerbell see that the dad caught that butterfly and is keeping it in a jar, and that's when Vidya and Tinkerbell realize that the father has like display butterflies, real butterflies pinned up to the walls, like he studies bugs basically. And they are obviously terrified because technically they are also bugs, and they know that if that man finds them, they also gonna get pinned to the wall. So Lizzie's kind of freaked out by this, so she takes Tinkerbell up to her room instead and decides not to show her father. And Vidya's petrified because she now thinks that Tinkerbell is trapped. To make matters worse, as soon as Tinkerbell is kind of let free from the dollhouse, the cat attacks Tinkerbell. So Tinkerbell like hides in a cage, which she also gets stuck in. Now Vidya thinks that she's stuck in a cage, so Vidya's like very worried. She's quite stressed out. So she flies all the way back to the fairy camp to tell all of Tinkerbell's friends Tinkerbell has been kidnapped. And to make matters worse, the storm is actually like kicking into effect now. Like there's a real storm going on, just like Silvermist predicted. Terrence isn't there because Terrence is giving like fairy dust to other fairy camps, so it's just like the main group, like the girls, and then Bobble and Clank. So that's what they're working with. Bobble and Clank decide that the way they're gonna like go and save us through the storm is that they're gonna build a boat. Because if you forget, Bobble and Clank are also talented tinkerers. There isn't just one tinker in this whole franchise. Bobble and Clank are smart too, and guess what? They can tinker without causing problems for everybody else in Pixie Hollow. Unlike a certain famous tinker fairy. I'm not pointing anybody out. I'm not trying to single anybody out. So they build a boat, and everybody's gonna work together to get this boat across all the way to Lizzie's house. Vidya's Loki like feeling kind of left out because everybody in that group, especially the girls, are like really close friends, and she's just kind of on the outside. And she also feels guilty because she feels like it's her fault. Tinkerbell got kidnapped, and now they must go through all of this effort because of her. But like the fact of the matter is, it's not Vidya's fault that Tinkerbell got caught. Yes, she closed the door, but she very effectively was trying to tell Tinkerbell, "You need to get out. Like I'm trying to get this door open and it's stuck." Tinkerbell's the one who went there. Vidya repeatedly told her to leave. So this is Tinkerbell's fault. Like there's no way around it. But at least Vidya is a conscious now, which she did not have previously. Meanwhile, Lizzie sees that Tinkerbell is like really scared and like terrified, understandably so. So she lets Tinkerbell out of the cage, which makes Tinkerbell want to leave immediately, like jolts for the window. But the window's closed because there's a storm. So Lizzie's actually quite sad that Tinkerbell wants to leave because Lizzie just really loves fairies and like she just was really excited about this whole fairy thing. So she ends up showing Tinkerbell all of her drawings of fairies, which ends up piquing Tinkerbell's interest. And this is just really cute. Like I love Lizzie so much. Like she just really wants to like have a new friend because she's lonely. Her dad's too busy to deal with her. And her dad's a weirdo. I don't like that man. I really don't like that man. But Lizzie just like wants to bond with Tinkerbell and find out as much as she wants about fairies. And Tinkerbell loves to talk, as we know. Tinkerbell really warms up to Lizzie and decides to like answer all of her questions about fairies in general. But Lizzie cannot understand Tinkerbell because whenever Tinkerbell speaks, she only hears little bell noises. So they kind of speak through charades, even though Tinkerbell can like fully understand Lizzie, but it's like one-sided charades. And Lizzie's dad hears her talking to somebody, so when he comes in, he's like, "Who are you talking to?" Tinkerbell hides, obviously, and Lizzie was like, "No, I'm talking to my fairy." And like the dad is like again, like, "Lizzie, what have I told you about? Stop thinking all of these foolish things. I have come here to give you all of my field research journals so you can see what scientific research is, and I've gotten you your own blank field research journal so that you can also learn something scientific and factual. You can record all of your factual findings and not this nonsense." And this is what my problem is. I know you don't want your daughter to be foolish, like I was for believing fairies till I was like 10, 11 years old. But the thing is, Lizzie is very young, and you can tell she's a child. If we're being real about it, Lizzie's just a child, and there's a way to talk to a child, and this father does not speak to his daughter kindly. You can listen, kids are silly. You can say your kids are silly, but not to their face like that, not in a rude way like that, because he makes Lizzie feel like very dumb all the time, and he does not care for any of her interests. And I just think he's a very mean man. He's a very mean man, but he gives her this field research journal and he leaves. Tinkerbell also tells Lizzie she has to go, like her friends are waiting for her, but when they open the window, it's heavily storming, so Tinkerbell can obviously not leave. So Lizzie invites her to stay and they can spend time together until the storm clears up, which is like Lizzie's greatest dream of all time. Meanwhile, Tinkerbell's friends, they really like locked in, like they're really working hard to get back to her, and they're like kind of worried that like she's living like a prisoner and that she's suffering. But Tinkerbell's actually kind of living a best life. Like she's chilling, she's having a good time. And she actually is just living her best life, and I'm really happy for both her and Lizzie. They seem very happy to meet each other. Now, mostly I'm happy for Lizzie. It's so nice to watch somebody live your dreams of meeting a fairy. And do I still believe in fairies? No. But would it be nice to? Yes. Would it be nice to? Yes. I wish I was Lizzie. I do wish I was Lizzie. But anyways, Lizzie keeps on asking Tinkerbell like 1,000 questions. So Tinkerbell decides to encourage her to write all of her fairy findings in the field research journal so that she can get her own scientific research about the facts about fairies, because Lizzie believes a lot of misconceptions about fairies, like the fact that all water fairies have blue skin, which we all know is not true. Look at Silvermist, does not have blue skin, obviously. So Lizzie decides to start her own research journal about fairies, which is really cute and really fun. In her field research journal, Lizzie ends up making like a pop-up book picture of Tinkerbell's friends, and this actually makes Tinkerbell really sad because she misses her friends obviously, and she realizes like I do need to go back, and like the rain has stopped for a bit, so she decides like, yo, I need to go. And Lizzie starts crying, and then Tinkerbell's crying, and it's a really sweet moment. Was I also crying? Yes, because am I living through Lizzie vicariously as I am now 20 years old? Yes, I am. I felt it in that moment. I was crying quite a lot. I've cried for less on this channel, if you're being for real. This was understandable tears. So Tinkerbell leaves, but she decides to like stay outside and watch through the window for a bit because she knows that Lizzie wants to show her dad the field research journal, and she was really excited for Lizzie. Lizzie's dad is too busy fixing all of the leaks in the house to listen to Lizzie about this journal, so he kind of don't gaff, and Lizzie's really upset about it, and she goes back to her room crying, which causes Tinkerbell to come back to comfort her. Meanwhile, Tinkerbell's friends are really up to some bullshit. That's the only way I can explain it. There's so much shenanigans going on that I can't really explain what's going on. But like they are working really hard. They really are working super hard, and they really are smart. Like these group of women are really smart. I wouldn't say Bobble and Clank that much. They are good thinkers, but the girls are really carrying the team at specific points. And Vidya is finally getting a moment where she feels kind of included, and I'm happy for her. I'm happy for her because I feel like Vidya deserves to be part of the group. She really does. When she because the amount of conscious she shows in this, and her trying to save Tinkerbell no matter what, shows that she's a good person, a good fairy, and she belongs with the rest of them. She does. Meanwhile, it's nighttime, so while Lizzie's asleep, Tinkerbell decides she's going to fix all of the leaks in the house so that Lizzie's dad will have time to care about her or even just listen to her for 2 minutes, which is all that Lizzie wants. So she spends the night fixing the leaks and whatever. But while she's like flying through the house, she sees the trapped butterfly that Fawn messed up in the dad's office that's still stuck in a jar. So TinkerBell frees it because it's clearly like scared and wants to be freed. So that's what she does. But then the next morning, when Lizzie tries to go to talk to her father and show him the field research journal, he sees that the butterfly's gone, and he accuses Lizzie of freeing the butterfly. And Lizzie's obviously like, I didn't free no damn butterfly. Like, when was I gonna do that? Literally, when was I gonna do that? But he's like, there's nobody else here. And I know I didn't free it because I was gonna take it to the museum to like show the scientists or whatever. So, where's the butterfly, Lizzie? And Lizzie's like, I really didn't do it. And then he's like, so then who did? And she said, I can't tell you because you won't believe me. And then he was like, there you go on that bullshit again. He didn't say that, but that's kind of the vibe. And you know what? I don't like this man because of how he treats his daughter. But if you think of things from his point of view, not the being mean to your daughter thing, that's not cool. But if you think of things in general from his point of view, Lizzie is kind of weird. And if your entire job was studying like insects and like making it like a research, I don't know what it's called, like important findings, and you see a butterfly with wings like that, that's kind of a big deal and would make you a big deal in the community if you can show that butterfly off. So I understand why he's upset, because this could have been like a big break in his career, obviously, and his career is very important to him, and there's no problem with that. Once again, the only problem I have is that he's kind of an asshole to his 9-year-old daughter. That's my issue. Lizzie's understandably upset, and she cries to Tinkerbell and says that she wishes she was a fairy so that like she could just like fly everywhere. And Tinkerbell uses this and gets an idea to use a bunch of fairy dust to let Lizzie fly, teach Lizzie how to fly. And you know what's crazy about this is Tinkerbell seems to be using a shit ton of fairy dust on this whole thing, and it's like, where did she get all of that fairy dust? Because we know she doesn't get however much she wants, or else the last movie would have went by a lot quicker. So I don't know where she's getting that. Maybe Terence is like smuggling on the low now after he helped her the last time. Because she has a suspicious amount of fairy dust. And I would, if anybody from Pixie Hollow is listening, not because I believe in fairies, but if anybody from Pixie Hollow is listening, I would encourage Fairy Gary to look into said matter, because I do think there is a fairy dust corruption ring occurring right now. Not that I would throw Terence under the bus ever. We all know I'm a Terence supporter and that I adore Terence, but I do think something suspicious is occurring. But anyways, Tinkerbell is teaching Lizzie how to fly, and she is doing so not gracefully, as she bumps into literally everything in her room, but she is in fact flying. The other fairies end up finding the house, and more shenanigans occur that I'm not gonna explain what's happening, but they make it through. They make it through eventually. Vidya ends up watching as the dad goes into Lizzie's room and is very angry by the state of Lizzie's room because it's a mess, because Lizzie was flying and there's like footprints on the roof. So he thinks Lizzie was throwing a temper tantrum. And then Lizzie was like, I wasn't throwing a temper tantrum, I was flying. And obviously her dad was like, stop lying, Lizzie. Because yeah. I don't know how you would expect that man to believe any of that. But then things actually get really bad because Lizzie is trying to tell her dad that her fairy friend was teaching her how to fly, and this makes her dad really angry. And Lizzie shows her dad the field research journal as like evidence, like, see, like, I know fairies, like I was doing all this research. And this makes her dad unnecessarily angry because he's like, you were supposed to be filling this field research with facts, which I don't know what facts a 9-year-old would be finding. I just don't understand. And then he rips all of the fairy drawings from her walls off. I don't think that's cool. I don't think taking down a child's drawings is okay in any way. That's actually diabolical. This is, that's the moment where I decided, like, he is kind of inexcusable. Like, he can think she's as silly as he wants to, but that is quite bad. That is quite bad. This, of course, makes Tinkerbell crash out, because we've actually seen Tinkerbell crash out for less in the past. She's very short-tempered, but I was angry too. So Tinkerbell goes flying at the dad because it's like, what the fuck? You just ripped down my homegirl's pictures. you best put them back up because hello, are we serious right now? So she's like basically attacking him, not in a way that she's hurting him, but like she's flying at him. He's obviously amazed because he's like, wow, a fairy, a real fairy in my house. I didn't know these existed. Maybe if you listen to your kid when she tried to show you the first time, but anyway. So then he's like so amazed, and Lizzie thinks like her dad is finally like seeing what she sees, but Vidya is like watching him from afar as she sees Lizzie's dad pick up a jar ready to trap Tinkerbell. Vidya freaks, so she flies at Tinkerbell to try to warn her, and she pushes her out of the way, which traps her instead. So Vidya is now caught in the jar. The father doesn't realize that he has like a different fairy, but Tinkerbell and Lizzie obviously see, and they see as the father immediately grabs the like jar and leaves to go to the museum where he's gonna show all of the scientists Vidya in the jar. Lizzie feels like so bad because now Tinkerbell's friend is caught. But then all of Tinkerbell's other friends end up coming, and Tinkerbell tells them the whole story, and they decide that they need to catch up to the dad, obviously. And how they're gonna do that is they are gonna be in like Lizzie's pockets, and they're gonna make her fly all the way to London. Which when I first heard this, I was like, what? Are you guys like, I don't know where you guys are now, but flying to London seems very far. It's actually not that far. It's like 2 hills over. So they decide they're gonna fly and catch up to the car. Lizzie is somehow unaffected by air pressure as she flies above the clouds easily with her clothes barely budging. Which it's a fairy movie. Why am I even asking these things? There's a human child with tiny fairies flying above the clouds, and this is normal, and we should all go along with it. But they end up like kind of catching up to the dad's car. So Tinkerbell flies out of the pocket and decides she's gonna go under the car and try to mess with the car's like motor or whatever so that the car stops, giving Lizzie enough time to fully catch up to the car. That's what she does. She like removes a plug from a thingy. I don't know how cars work, just know that the car stopped. Do not ask me stupid questions. Lizzie ends up catching up to her father and flies in front of him, which he's a bit too amazed by this because he already knew that she was flying before because she stated this before, but he's like really amazed by the fact that his daughter's flying in front of him, which I guess understandable because he's never seen her fly. And Lizzie tells him, Dad, you can't take Lydia, you can't take my fairies friends. That's my Lizzie impression anyway. You can't take her. You don't need to understand fairies. You just need to believe in them. And he was like, you are so right, daughter, who I've been calling foolish this entire time. I will never doubt you again. Which, the only reason he doesn't call her foolish and a dumb idiot is because he can now see fairies. If he never saw the fairies, he would have ended up still being like an absolute asshole to her, with no remorse, with absolute no remorse. But he apologizes and decides to free Vidya. Vidya is effectively freed. The fairies get like back together, and they decide they're gonna teach Lizzie's dad how to fly. So Lizzie and her dad fly all over London, which once again I have my problems with Lizzie's dad. I think he's a very mean man. But this was a really cute scene. This was really cute. I really enjoyed it. And at the end of the movie, Tinkerbell invites Vidya and well, like we don't know how this happened because Tinkerbell earlier in the movie was having a tea party with Lizzie, but now Vidya is also at said tea party and Lizzie's dad. And all of the other fairies join too. So it's Lizzie and her dad and all of the other fairies. Terence comes back too. We also see Blaze there. Blaze mentioned. Cheese is there too. Cheese is very scared of Lizzie's cat. I like to see the gang together. But this is it's a very cute ending. As much as I hate the dad is reading through the field journal and all of that, which once again he only cares because he knows it's real now. But it was just nice to see them spending time together and all of the fairies get like be close and all of that, and I really enjoyed it, guys. Like, this is not every movie needs to have a lot happening, even though this movie did have a lot happening. I'm just skipping over all of the parts with Tinkerbell's friends because the shenanigans they got up to, it was sometimes like, damn, like I just wish y'all could do something right at a point. But I think this was one of the most wholesome Tinkerbell movies. I heard everybody tells me Never Beast, Tinkerbell and the Never Beast is like the most amazing Tinkerbell movie of all time. Like, I'm gonna cry so much because I'm a notorious crier. I cry for everything. But when you think about and the Never Beast will destroy me. So and I've never seen it. Can you believe I've never seen it? I've never seen Never Beast, and I've never seen Pirate Fairy. So I'm actually really looking forward to that. And I hope maybe those will take the place for most wholesome Tinkerbell movie, because to me that's this movie. And I'm actually really, I don't know why I'm in a Tinkerbell mood now. I've been doing a lot of Tinkerbell these days. By doing a lot, I mean one video months ago and the other video a month ago. But I think I will probably do Secret of the Wings soon, because I'm in a Tinkerbell mood, you guys. So whenever that happens, it will happen. I don't know what video is gonna be next. I never know what video is gonna be next, and if I say a video is gonna be next, I'm probably gonna be lying. So anyway, I'll see you when I see you, and you should probably subscribe to the other Tinkerbell videos. Come on, I'll probably do all of them. So yeah, you should be here for that. But anyway, bye.